Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead.
Go ahead and click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar, we have no high impact news scheduled for today. While I wait on the US dollar index to reject or accept the 96 level, I'll be watching cable for a potential swing setup today. The commodities show strong oils and the metals in their long overdue but perfectly normal retracements. Both the global indices and equities in focus have an overall bullish tone, with actual entries being stalked on the daily timeframes in several charts. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Having a look at currencies first, and just noting that the US dollar index is now sitting right at that 96 level. So I'm looking to see, we've got here on price action on the chart a swing high. Looking to see if we do get rejected by that level. That US government shutdown looks as though it's very much set to continue into this week with no change, certainly not from a fundamental perspective, no change expected there. If we then have a look at the euro US dollar, we're still within this range, and this is just going to make trading it from a technical perspective incredibly volatile. It's attempted to break out the bottom, it's attempted to break out the top, and both have failed. It's not really going anywhere at this point in time, so it's one of those wait and sees, but no real trading opportunities there. Then having a look at cable, and this is interesting to me, I quite like the look of sterling, has pulled back into the moving averages. I've got the 50, 20 and 10 in a nice little bullish formation. It's been trending upwards relatively nicely lately, and I'm waiting on today's candle to close ideally as a small bullish candle, and that'll present me with a potential swing trading opportunity to the upside between today and tomorrow. So really just waiting to see how that closes. Euro Kiwi, which has been on my waiting list as well, is really now pulled back into resistance. What I was looking for here was a strong rejection candle of this level. Hasn't happened yet. I'll be waiting to see how today's candle closes, and again, that may well, if it does close as a strong rejection or bearish candle, I'll be looking for a swing trading entry to the downside between today and tomorrow, similar to cable as well. And also, again, if we then do get a weaker US dollar, this, just to recap, this is actually, I'm looking here for a breakout of this pullback. This is effectively a weekly retracement that I'm looking for on the daily time frame. I'll be looking for a break above this high as a confirmation of an uptrend, with my stop loss below the low here as a potential swing trading opportunity to the upside there. This will be a break out to the upside, but it'll confirm that this is an uptrend. So keeping an eye on that, and that's really everything I've pretty much seen in terms of opportunities on currencies. In the commodities on the move, and finally starting to see a bit of a reaction against that resistance level for 1300 for gold. I've been waiting on this for a while actually, and you can see how slowly this is happening. A bit of a swing high impact there. So what I'm really waiting on here is to see price break the low of last week's low as well as the previous low, and see it start to head down towards this level of support, as well as that buy zone between the 10 and 20 moving averages. So waiting on that to provide me with some potential bullish opportunities to go long again. Silver following through on that, slightly ahead of gold at this point in time, and already starting to head a lot lower. So again, that just highlights what I'm waiting for here. Just a trading plan, stalking these opportunities, waiting for price to pull back into a point of equilibrium where I can get some opportunities to go long as it resumes its uptrend. Not going long on it yet, waiting for it to confirm and provide me with a decent and economic entry point. Then palladium, just showing here we've got a couple of inside candles. Price is looking quite overextended, so my expectation this week and the next coming days, the next 24 to 48 hours, potentially seeing price head back into those moving averages, and I'll be looking for a pullback as well, looking to get long there. And so looking at the US Brent oil fund, this is continuing to look bullish, heading up to the next level of resistance. Once it passes that, then I'm quite happy to start looking for long opportunities, but at the moment here there's no clear trend. It's more bearish than bullish, even though it is heading up. It just means that shorter term trades carry a little bit more risk to the upside. But also here you can see crude oil. This is what I'm liking the look of this as we approach this previous high. It's looking relatively bullish and actually starting to create a much more bullish outlook in terms. And then I'll be looking here, especially on the monthly time frame, for a swing low. This is looking pretty good. If we break that previous high, we'll be producing a bullish swing low, and then I'll be looking for long opportunities on this back up towards the previous levels of support and resistance. In the global indices, and despite some of that uncertainty around that US government shutdown, the global indices continue to look nice and bullish and relatively calm and steady. So looking at Wall Street, I really like the idea. We've started a bit of a retracement here. I'm looking for a pullback into the most recent levels of support and resistance in this area between the 10 and 20 moving averages, where I'll be looking for swing trading entries to the upside. Not expecting very deep retracements if it's going to continue to be bullish. Weekly candles finished nice and strong last week. Looking for those opportunities to continue. Here's the S&P 500. Strong weekly candle. Now starting to push above levels of support and resistance and actually starting to break free of that sort of the curse, so-called curse of the downtrend. Still noting the 50, 20, and 10 in this order. And we are still in that sell zone. A little bit push high. A little bit of a push high would be quite nice to see that happen. If we look at the Tech 100. Just going back to the daily there as well, recapping what I'm looking for there is similar effect here, looking for price to pull back into recent, into the moving averages, into recent level of support and resistance, and then looking to go long there. So those are some good areas there where there should be some potential opportunities in the coming days. UK 100 now also back into its last level of resistance that I've drawn in here, still within that sell zone. So a push a little bit higher, especially breaking through that, would be quite nice and reassuring, so to speak, just to see a bit of that increase. It's the same thing actually with the Germany 30. The one, of course, that is quite significant and worthwhile highlighting. Here we go. Not a complete surprise. We spoke about this last week. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng actually starting to break above its previous highs. Now officially in an uptrend. Hasn't been that way for a while. Nice and bullish on the moving averages of the MACD, and the momentum indicators looking nice and bullish there. And Australia as well, continuing to push through on that monthly candle. So that's quite nice. Seeing a little bit of bullishness in all of the global indices there from east to west, and now starting to consider taking more cautiously, but starting to look for long entry positions on those pullbacks in the US indices. Lastly on my list for today, here's Netflix, and Netflix nice and healthy in terms of its behavior, pulling back down into the moving averages. So here I'm looking for some swing entries to go long, anywhere in this area between heading down as low potentially as 300 up to currently where it is. So that'll be on my watch list for this week as an entry long. Next thing I want to kind of point out, because the rest of these are all looking pretty bullish, what I wanted to highlight here is just how calm and steady some of these are, and what great trading opportunities there are from a technical perspective. And this is Microsoft on a monthly basis, just showing that steady curve. So it's not always necessarily going to be about Amazon. It's not always going to be about Facebook. There's a lot of charts where there are some really nice technical trading opportunities. Here looking at Boston Scientific, almost back up at its all-time highs, looking incredibly bullish, and that's just happily, quietly going on in the background. Then having a look at some of the banks as well here. Barclays, looking really positive. I'm quite happy to see how nice and bullish these candles are. Having seen this before, it's possible there could be an attempt to move higher, move lower, and another bounce higher, but it is certainly setting itself up for an attempt to move higher, and so that's going to be an interesting opportunity there. Overall trend hasn't changed yet, certainly not on a monthly basis, but the potential is looking very, very good. Same here actually with Standard Chartered, also starting to look like it's very happy to push away from that level and then start to head back up towards 715. Lloyd's looking even more so, looking the most aggressive of the bunch. A solid bullish candle here. Looking at this, I can just see we've produced now an outside, or at least a swing low candle, so looking solid bullish expectation. It's reasonable to assume it's going to at least try and test 64 again, and then we'll see how it goes beyond that. So in terms of a longer term opportunity, in terms of investing, I'm not actually drawing any conclusions there, but in terms of a shorter trading opportunity, potentially looking to go long for a shorter period of time there. And BPCFD as well, coming back down to British Petroleum, coming back down to this level of resistance, looking pretty good to be able to create a level of support there to head back up towards its high. So all of those looking pretty nice and bullish, considering how messed up the charts have been, or at least volatile for the last for the last few months. So on that note, ladies and gents, some good opportunities there today. I'm going to exercise some caution and common sense, of course, as always, but I want to wish you a wonderful day, and if it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button if you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market. I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.